But again, if there's a lion that's going to kill you, I don't know, maybe you deserve it. But
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Logan with West Desert Shooter. It has been a full year since I had the opportunity to go out and shoot with the president of American Rifle Company, Ted Karagias. Now, Ted is a wealth of knowledge on rifle design, and he actually sat down and talked to me for about 45 minutes on his new chassis design that we've got sitting right here, as well as his Archimedes action that we were discussing in this video. Now, this video is just a couple clips from a full 35-minute interview that I had with Ted. So if you're interested in more content, it is out there. You can see the full interview. I will link that down below. But until then, check out these clips. These are some of my favorite highlights where he goes in and discusses some of the key rifle design features and why he decided to go the way he did. I hope you guys enjoy it. Here is Ted Karagias with American Rifle Company.
it gives you enough mechanical advantage to break the rim off the case. So if the cartridge is stuck in the chamber and it has a rim that's strong enough to extract it, this will get it out easily. No other action can do that. Even the Mauser, until this, I would have said the Mauser is the best extraction system going because it has a non-rotating claw. That's what everybody missed. Like when you hear people talk about control round feed extraction, that was only half the story. The other half of the story is the fact that the Mauser extractor doesn't rotate with respect to the cartridge case under load, right? So as you open the bolt on the Mauser and the bolt handle engages the extractor cam that's machined into the back of the receiver, right?
The extractor claw sat there stationary.
Yeah, the bolt is basically pulling, you got hardened steel bolt rubbing against a hardened steel extractor collar, right? That's doing, well, actually it's not, there's the Mauser extractor actually has a tongue that engages an undercut basically in the nose of the bolt, and that's where the circumferential rubbing is taking place. It's not between the extractor and the case. And the only reason I'm telling you this, I mean, we're departing from the Archimedes, but it is good to have a little bit of background on extraction so you can fully appreciate this thing. You'll see other bolt actions now where they sort of have like a partially counterbore bolt face, so that the cartridge can come up the bolt face, and they'll advertise control round feed. They got that part of it, right? But what they don't have is a non-rotating extractor, because either they'll have like a little T-slot extractor or the Sacco type. I think a Sacco 85 has it as well. But they don't use a T-slot. They use like a little pivoting extractor. But in both cases, those extractors rotate with respect to the case head while it's extracting, right? What's more like the extraction system on the Mauser 98, believe it or not, as far as the whole not rotating with respect to the case head, is that in like an M16 or an AR-15, right? Because the bolt is unlocked and then pulled backwards, right? So the extractor never moves while it's extracting. So like in a gas-operated semi-automatic rifle, the extractors pull straight back on the case. They don't rotate with respect to the case, right? All the rotation is done prior to loading up the extractor. Now, the Archimedes kind of works that way, right? So you rotate the bolt to unlock it. It's fully unlocked. You haven't done any extraction, and if your case is stuck, you're just gonna use this lever, which is otherwise known as the bolt handle, right? To drive the bolt backwards, that first little bit, which basically breaks the taper, and pops the cartridge, the taper being, the tapered body of the cartridge in the tapered chamber. You'll hear a lot of people talk about a 3-lug 60-degree bolt throw, like this, and they sort of say it like 60-degree bolt throw is a good thing. I'm here to tell you that it's not, right? And the reason it's not is because more bolt rotation is available before your knob gets close to your scope, right? What you want, regardless of what anybody tells you, I'm just going to tell you what you want now, right? Which, and I'll probably catch shit for that, but who cares? what you want is as much rotation as possible, right? Because you want a lot of motion through which to do the work necessary to store the energy in a mainspring and get reliable ignition, right? And the more travel, the more distance that knob moves through, the less force required to actually move it, right? So people will compare bolt lifts on actions, right? What they're really talking about is the force on that they're trying to impart on the knob to rotate the bolt. We can make an action that's really, really, really easy to open, right? With a really, really heavy spring. We just make the handle longer, right? But then that has other problems. So you just want to get that knob in an ergonomically appropriate location, and you want as much rotation as you can have before reducing the clearance between the knob and the scope. The reliability of control round feed varies. It's best if the case head is the closer in size, or the closer the case head diameter is to the diameter of the bolt, the better, right? So like a 338 Lapua mag in a mousing field works better than anything else, right? Where a 223, because the mousing, this bolt or a mousing field bolt, they're both about 700 in diameter, right? 338 Lapua mag case head is about 589, I think, 588 in diameter, pretty close. 223 case head is only 375 in diameter. That's going to be your least reliable for control round feed, right?
Because it has to jump up to the center line.
Yeah, you got to get them center. Ideally, you got to get them center on center, right? The mousing field does it the best, probably, because its extractor can actually reach down. These extractors reach down as well. It's not something that has to be 100% reliable, because it's not like an absolutely vital function. There's a lot that's been, I guess, control round feed really got as in terms of like magazine articles over the years and what gun writers have written. It was always about the dangerous game rifles, right? And everybody that hunted dangerous game in Africa, they all wanted the Mauser system, the Mausers. And most extractors were like throughout the first half of the 20th century, most actions had Mauser-ish style extractors. The whole push feeds didn't really come about until later, I don't think. I'm sure there were some back then, but nothing really comes to mind. But again, if there's a lion that's going to kill you, I don't know, maybe you deserve it. But, but I don't know. Like, control round feed, it doesn't have to be 100% reliable. It never was, not even in the original Mauser, no matter what anybody tells you. If you run, there's two there, right? So if I short stroke this twice, right, and it would probably continue to work, but I can probably get it to fail.